So are we gonna have basketball this week? The Ivy League canceled their tournament.
Oh, yeah, man, that's above my pay grade. We got practice at we got practice at 10. I only went to 4 years of school, so they don't ask guys like me about stuff like that.
Is there a level of concern though with this kind of situation escalate? I know it's out of your control.
Yeah,
But
no, I don't have much to say. Just get ready to play. That's all I can tell you, buddy. I mean, just a ball coach. I read all the same stuff you guys do. Although my daughter's upset because something got canceled at her school, and they're still going to make, instead of her field trip, she still got to go to school that day at Campbell Hall. So she wants to file a complaint. So I think she's going to be a lawyer. I told her. Should have heard it was like a 20-minute dissertation she gave me on why they should be off on that day. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Ben.
Yeah.
Just gotta get ready to play basketball. That's all I can do. But I'm like, I'm just like you. I don't know anything more or less than you know.
How do you prepare going into a tournament when you don't know who you'll face in the first game?
Oh, we do. We know we'll face Cal or Stanford. So that becomes easier or more complicated depending on the style of play. Like if you were, for instance, whoever might play Washington, because if you play one team that might play man, the other team might play zone, or drastic styles of defense or stuff that you have to prepare for, or drastic offensive differences, presses, whatever. So that makes it more complicated or not, depending on the two styles. So you have to do a little bit of preparation for both teams.
Would you say stylistically they're
not that far off? I mean, Cal's, offensively, Cal's more of a power team. Stanford's obviously a spread, more of a shooting spread offense. They're a little, because of their ability to spread you out and make threes at multiple spots. Cal's more of a power team. They're both play man-to-man defense, though.
You said after the USC game that you wanted to fix some things on offense. Where does that start?
Shot making.
Okay.
So then you go home and watch the film and you miss 13 unguarded shots. And it just happens. Those kind of games, last night, I think I fell asleep early, but I saw the score this morning, St. Mary's and BYU. Anybody think that game was going to go 51-50? You get in a bloodbath of a game where the officials are letting both teams play, which I'm fine with. In a game like that, it just happens. It does. But that being said, there's areas where we still got to improve on offense. But what happens when you don't make early in the game, when you're missing open shots, the court shrinks on you. The other teams, if they're not going to make open shots, we're definitely not going to let them score in the paint. So the court tends to shrink on you as the game goes on, and that's what happened in that game for us.
Are you preparing the team differently this week? Obviously, you potentially have 3 games in a row rather than having a break in between 2 games.
Well, I think what you got at this time of year, you have got to keep guys fresh. You can't beat your team up. You got to make sure you understand that if you win Thursday, you got another one Friday. If you win, you got another one Saturday. So, but late in the year, for us, it's been we de-escalate practice in January. Then once you get to March, we cut it down even further. Less contact, shorten the length of practice, and shorten the physical contact in practice. I think we do. I think you almost have to.
Does it seem like a pretty wide open tournament? I mean, Washington finishing last, and they're coming in as one of the hottest teams.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Well, you got, right now you got 7 teams on the NCAA tournament board out of 12. You got Oregon State as a senior-laden team, and then you have your last place team with 2 lottery picks. So that would say right off the bat, there's 9 teams that could easily win it. So yeah, I mean, I don't. It's probably, back to my days in the Big East, where you could go and say that there's, 9 teams could easily win a tournament. Not that the other 3 couldn't as well. But, that was reality back in my Big East days. I mean, the 9th seed did win the tournament. Multiple times that happened. But, yeah, it's wide open.
Chris seemed pretty fired up after the game. He said that you guys are going to pummel whoever you played next. Do you like it when a guy kind of takes that approach?
Like I said after the game, when I went when I went in the locker room to take my suit coat off, and the guys were distraught about our loss, and then it was the first time, you do that as a coach, and before you go in to address them, I'm feeling their level of emotion and where they're at. It was the first time at my time at UCLA where I felt like I was back in my other locker rooms at Cincinnati. Where just guys just losing wasn't accepted. I mean, they were upset, mad, distraught. So I had to take so I was in there to want to tell them it's okay, I'm proud of you, because the other times, if they're not, then you got to go in there and make sure that they understand you're upset, and they should be upset. But we got to a point where they were distraught, they were upset. So now that being said, I heard about that, and I told Chris, talking about pummeling people now, like I think we might want to leave that to Cody. we were laughing about it. So I know what he meant. He's just he meant. We're upset that we lost, and we want to get back on track.
I guess the good news is you didn't know exactly who you were playing, so they couldn't exactly put it on this bulletin board material.
Right? Yeah. I guess. We got a kick out of it though yesterday. You got to be able to bench press a certain amount to talk about pummeling anybody.
You talk about the mood in the locker room. Did that make you feel like maybe the culture shift has taken over?
That was the only good thing that happened on Saturday for me, other than Trey Scott finishing his career at Cincinnati on a tip in to win a game. He's a great kid that I love, but that was the best part about Saturday for me, definitely. And that's a big shift. As a coach, you're looking for things that, wins and losses are easy for you guys. That's all you can see. You're not behind the scenes. That was a big shift for us. And, I don't make light of that. That was a big shift to see our reaction and how upset the guys were. To be able to, you're going on the road against another team on our second senior day sellout, expecting to win. From 2 months ago, when nobody would have expected you to have a chance, let alone win the game.
You said 13.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You said 13 unguarded shots. Do you remember how many were at the rim?
Just a couple.
Okay.
Just a couple. But what happens in games, games take on a life of their own. That's why it's hard for people to say, well, they beat them, so they should beat them. But you got to go back and you look at the film, and so when a team makes every shot on you, it does the opposite. It expands your defense. Mm-hmm. And now there's layups, at the rim. It's much harder to defend the whole floor. And that doesn't happen every game. It doesn't happen every, game to game. So, but, a lot of the shots we got, I'd take them again. Now, the turnovers, again, you guys always hear me, the turnovers are the things you have to eliminate.
Congratulations again on winning the Coach of the Year in the Pac-12. What does that mean to you and to the program in general?
Well, first of all, I think it's a team award. My coaching staff is excellent. I purposely hired 3 guys I thought should already have been head coaches. They were extremely instrumental in some of the things we had to do to get our ship turned around and right our ship. And so we're not a one-man band. But the players' effort makes coaches look good. Our game is played by players. So if you happen to win a coaching award, first of all, I appreciate the other coaches in our league's vote. But there's great coaches in our league. But it's a team award. It means that mostly in college basketball, the guy that wins Coach of the Year, his team tended to overachieve in the conference for the conference Coach of the Year. So that's a big credit to our players. The National Coach of the Year is usually the guy that his team had the best year. So it's an interesting dynamic. You know, usually if you win the league, like, you know, Dana Altman, you're never going to win Coach of the Year. I've been in that situation at Cincinnati. So it's interesting. But you can win Coach of the Year, you know, but if you win the national championship, you probably win National Coach of the Year. So, but in the conference, it's usually for the team that tends to overachieve, so to speak. But I view it as a team award. So a lot of credit to, you know, all the credit goes to the players, but also my staff.
And Chris Smith getting most improved, that's a pretty darn good award as well. Shows that you're making growth as a player.
Well, we had to have some guys improve this year, obviously, you know, with the guys that left and an extremely young team. You know, Chris's development it has been huge for us. His progress as a scorer has been great. Just his effort on how to practice, how to focus, his maturity level has all been, if it doesn't happen, you know, we're not in the situation we're in. You know, you're never going to finish 1, 2, 3 in the league if you don't have a guy step up and be consistent the way he has been. So very happy for him. Great kid, really, really good person, great parents. And you guys know, you interview him all the time. Question that thing right here on his hair. He says I'm jealous, but you know, guess he's just trying to flaunt his extra hair. All right, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.